Hey guys, Angus here. Quick review on the MacroFactor app. So I've been enjoying the MacroFactor app. My friend Russell, who's had a really successful kind of year with MacroFactor, down 11.9 kilos or something like that with the MacroFactor app. He's looking great. Really high energy expenditure, which was one of the features that I liked in this app, that it gives you this kind of target on energy expenditure. So couple of great features. First of all, the food log is absolutely fantastic. Most of the foods I eat are in there. It's super quick to log. You can make recipes, share recipes, and then customize these recipes as you see fit. If you're a big recipe maker person, is really useful. It doesn't give you meals like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. It just gives you a timeline. So like 9 a.m. tap what you had, 1 p.m. tap what you had. So if you're eating every hour, you can do that. So you're just logging on a timeline. You've got another feature in there, so you got your scale weight in there, and then you got your weight trend in there. So I use this app called Happy Scale that I'm really happy with, and it gives you a weight trend, so you can see how you're coming down, and you got this kind of range about your weight scale. This MacroFactor does that in the app, so it'll give you this kind of solid line if you're in a deficit coming down of your weight trend, which would be your average weight. So say you're 100 kilos one day, 104 kilos next day, 103, it will just work out the average for that, so you don't freak out with these weight fluctuations, especially if you're someone that has massive weight fluctuations. So that's a really cool feature in the app. The energy expenditure. So the energy expenditure is MacroFactor's version of how much energy you're spending. It works this out by the food you log. So the food you log must be accurate, or as accurate as you can make it. So say you eat 2,500 calories, just to do easy maths, and your weight trend is showing that you're coming down by a pound per week. So we know that a pound is 3,500 calories, which means that you're in a deficit of around about 3,500 calories for that week. So it might be 400 one day, 300 one day, 700 one day. As long as that weight trend is reflecting your actual fat loss, which it should do, MacroFactor will make a guesstimation, a pretty good guesstimation of that your metabolic rate is 3,000 calories. And it will do this for whatever weight you're at. Plus, while you're in a deficit, if say your exercise is slowing down, because non-exercise activity thermogenesis, also known as NEAT, that starts to decline, which means your entire metabolism starts to decline. You can see this in the app. So if your metabolic rate is starting off at 3,000 and it's dive bombing, you might be in a too much of a severe deficit, or it gives you a chance to have a look at your step count in other apps and maybe raise that step count out if that's been coming down. That would be my first port of call. So that's something really useful in the MacroFactor app. The other thing with the MacroFactor app, because a lot of people in this channel are Lumen users, which I am myself, it's a better food logger, but it will write over onto Apple Health if you're an Apple Health user, and it will write over to Apple Health, which will write to Lumen, but it'll also write your net carbs, which is really nice to do. So if you're using the Lumen macros, just set MacroFactor to maintenance mode, or you can also set it to this manual mode here if you want, and put in the Lumen macros, and just have a look at the energy expenditure. So there's a toggle on MacroFactor where you can flick between expenditure and targets. So targets would just be if you were in a calorie deficit, and you can choose the level of calorie deficit. Everyone just chooses too much of a weight loss. I'll get into high flux dieting another time. So those are kind of my first initial impressions of the MacroFactor app. It's basically MyFitnessPal on steroids. Long time user of MyFitnessPal. The adverts do my head in, which of course you're paying for MacroFactor, and it's weird that I've used MyFitnessPal for 10 years and never paid a penny for it. So we've got to thank MyFitnessPal for that. The average calories consumed is quite difficult to get into on MyFitnessPal, where it's right there in the nutrition tab in MacroFactor. MyFitnessPal only offers you breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack, which is a bit annoying because maybe you're eating 7 meals a day. Maybe you're missing breakfast. MacroFactor is designed for flexibility. It's designed, and then sometimes in, like, say MyFitnessPal, you'll get like this high sugar warning. Hey, you're eating too much sugar. But maybe that's part of your plan that day. Maybe your coach has got you on a high carb day because you're doing an ultra the next day. That warning then triggers you because it's like bad, but it's not bad. It's bad within a context. Then we've got in MacroFactor does 0 punishing you, so you can break the rules without, you know, getting a slap on the wrist, which I really like because it's really useful for me and my clients to kind of make little dials in. So like I said, if you're a Lumen user, pop it onto maintenance mode. Don't worry about the macros that my MacroFactor gives you. Just follow it. If you are going to be using MacroFactor as your only kind of diet coach or diet help coach, then shove it on the settings that you want. Just remember, when this energy expenditure goes down, it's probably time to increase your calories and increase your movement and try and come out of that diet fatigue. If you have any questions on MacroFactor, drop them below and I'll make some follow-up videos. Of course, I think everyone's going to love MacroFactor, but you get a 1-week trial if you download the app. If you use my affiliate link, which is Angus Logan, all one word, all caps, in there, you will get an extra week trial. So you get 2-week trial, which is plenty of time to see whether you like it or not. Cancel before you can download the app, put in my affiliate link, go on to it. I would get the year option, which is what I went for. As soon as I only got a 1-week trial when I went for it. I saw in a couple of days that this app was perfect. It suited my needs absolutely perfectly. That is enough waffling on MacroFactor. Go download it and see for yourself. I'll drop it in the description box. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe. I'll check you guys in the next one.